Crow time today on Night of the Shield. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Night of the Shield. I want to thank everybody, as always, for being here, for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can be updated every time I upload a video. All right, without further ado, smash that like button, and let's get into this. All right. First of all, for the first time in a very long time, I'm here to crow a little bit. I mean, I don't feel like I have to crow too loudly. I mean, come on, guys. David Irving. It's really ironic that the day that I uploaded the video, he gets cut. I've been laughing about it ever since. I think it's really ironic, and I think it was just a way to remind me of how I always used to view analyzing the Raiders. And so I want to talk about that today. But before I get into that portion of it, David Irving, let's address it itself. Like, I really feel if he would have taken it seriously, which it kind of sounds like to me that he's not, which could be the only reason why they would cut him. Obviously, there were some issues at OTAs, whether he showed, whether he not showed, what have you. I don't have any of the details. I don't know anything that happened. All I know is the dude got cut. And from where I stand and how I feel about things, look, I mean, this guy is a high-end talent, man. Like, he was very versatile. He would have played in. He would have played D-tackle. The tape that I seen of him in Dallas, when this guy is on and in shape and doing his thing, he's pretty elite. And that's why I made the video. And to this day, if he would have made this team and took it seriously, I do feel that he would have challenged Quentin Jefferson for that defensive tackle spot. Now that we find ourselves in this situation where he's no longer part of the team, obviously, he couldn't get his mind right, his body right, and impress the coaches enough to say, hey, you know what, we're putting it all in on you. Then, it is what it is, man. Sayonara. I wish you the best of luck, but it is what it is. It's time for the next man up. And that next man up is Solomon Thomas. Now, I'm not going to get too heavy into this because I haven't had enough time to really digest everything that's taken place, but I will say this. Solomon Thomas is still that guy, too. He was a high-end talent. He wasn't used right either. Now, I could end up having to say, I'm back to eat crow on this. So that's why I'm really careful about what I'm about to say. All I know is that we still have a great defensive tackle lineup. We have a lot of rotation. We have a lot of depth. There's going to be a lot of competition. The strong will survive. The one that goes out there and earns it will get the opportunity to go out there and prove it. And that's just the bottom line. So, Solomon Thomas, this could be your opportunity. I'm fine with it being Hankins and Jefferson starting. I think that's going to be fantastic. I think it's an upgrade to what we've had in years past, and I obviously think that it is the right move for Gus Bradley to put those two guys in to do what they need to do to make everything else work, because that's what it comes down to. They're really going to start with our defensive tackle and our ends to really make things happen, because we're not going to be blitzing a lot. So they're going to have to put the right four, the starting four, right up there that's going to unlock everything behind it. So it is key. So go out there. Let's get some great competition. Go out there and fight for it, man. Everybody has the opportunity right now. Vickers has an opportunity now. Phylon has an opportunity now. We're going to see a lot of great competition this preseason. So I'm really, really excited to see how all this unfolds. Now I really want to get into just kind of my thought process again, and just, as I've been back and I've been trying to figure out, where am I at with this football team? I feel like I used to be so good at having my finger on the pulse and just kind of knowing exactly where I was thinking on this football team. Now, I've been gone a long time, and we can get into why and everything that I've been up to in the past several years, but I need to find my way back into putting my finger back onto this pulse of this football team. And it really comes down to controlling our optimism. Now, Raider John, if you're out there, here it comes. Because when your optimism doesn't meet reality, how do we sit here and face everybody, right? I mean, our optimism, especially as fans, and I'm not just talking about Raider fans. You can go across all 32 teams in the NFL. Optimism runs our lives, man, when it comes to sports in general. If you're a fan of a football team, your optimism is so high. And like I think I heard Murph say it just recently over there with Graphic. I think they're going to go 17-0 every year. I'm super optimistic. And I love that he could be honest and open about that, because in reality, when we start to look at these things, that's the first thing we think of, right? Every move was the best move that they could have done for the most part. I know people criticize the team just as hard. I mean, it is the day and age we live in with social media. There's a critic for everything. However, some of the diehard fans, we obviously look at this team and everything they do. Oh, that's that. Boom, we got that guy. Everything's going to be good. We got Gus Bradley. We got Quentin Jefferson. We picked up Yannick. We got Morig in the draft. And we're going to move Abram in the box, and everything's going to be freaking perfect. We're going to be a top 5 defense now. And, all that stuff has an opportunity to become reality. That's not the issue. The issue is, it hasn't even took place yet. Gus Bradley hasn't put and implemented everything yet. We don't know what the exact unit is going to look like. We don't know what our 53-man roster is going to look like. Having optimism is one thing. Understanding what's going to be real is another, and we have to let that play out. It's one of the reasons why I haven't gone through the schedule yet and made my predictions, because I usually tend to slow myself down on those things, because it's really hard to say, what's going to happen week 1 in Vegas against Baltimore. We do know that Gus Bradley put a great game plan against him before. So we know that going into it, that's a great thing to have in our back pocket. But the reality of things is we have to let all this play out. There's a lot of new pieces. There's a whole defensive scheme that's being implemented. We've seen this defensive scheme through Ken Norton before, right? And Ken Norton Jr. now, don't make no mistake about it, that was his first chance of trying to put it together. I think Ken Norton today would even be just as valuable to this football team, because he went back. He's been doing it in Seattle. Seattle's been playing better defense. I think he's starting to get the understanding. When we had him, he was just a motivator. He didn't really understand everything that he was trying to implement. Or I don't believe the coaching staff, and himself together knew exactly what pieces to bring in to make this happen. Gus Bradley does, and I'm really excited about what he's bringing to the table. But I'm learning the hard way, once again, to take my optimism and kind of bring it back down to here. Let's level the playing field. Let's understand that not only do we have to wait and see what all this is going to entail moving forward, but I also want to make sure that I understand that there's 31 other teams in the NFL that went out and made changes too. There's 3 other teams in our division alone that we all admit have done some great things. We've got some great defenses. We play some great quarterbacks. We play a lot of tight ends. It's a tight end heavy group, and tight end have been our bugaboo for a long time. So I'm hoping that gets fixed with a lot of this stuff that we're implementing, especially in that weak side linebacker position. So look, everything has to play out, and I need to calm down and continue to grind, continue to read articles, continue to watch video to the best of my capability. One day I will show you guys how I do this process, because that was whole part of me leaving back in the day is I needed to fix myself. I do deal with some mental health issues myself when it comes to my blindness and my low vision. And I've been learning, man. I've been on the grind. I mean, I do it for a living now. I actually help people cope with vision loss. So, I've come a long way since the last time I was on here doing this thing. And one day I'll show you guys how I now implement and do things from a different perspective, using computers and other little equipments and software that I use to be able to even look at a film and see what a player's doing. I definitely will never be as good as like Sanjeet, Raid the Tape, and some of these other great, amazing people who break down film. I'll never be at that level. I have to rely on other ways to get my thoughts and my ideas and put them in a video. But the bottom line is I'm learning the skills to do so. I'm way more confident when I'm using computers and software and audio equipment, everything. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm learning again on how to implement all the stuff that I've learned and continue to try to work on this channel, as well as learning again how to understand and get my perspective, old school, Night of the Shield perspective, on what this football is up to and what is happening. And I look forward to bringing it to you each and every week. Thank you once again for following and liking and hitting that subscribe button and the thumbs up button and doing all that stuff. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll reiterate it again. If this is your first time here, please think about hitting that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can be updated every time I drop a video. Continue to smash the hell out of that like button. I really liking how the algorithm is starting to pick up. Now, that last video died, and well so, because it was about a guy that got cut that day. But nevertheless, thank you for all the comments. Continue. If you have a channel, once again, a Midwest Raider, thank you for leaving the comment and let me know. I'll be checking you out, brother. And to everybody else, if you have a channel, please let me know in the comments below so I can make sure that I'm a follow and I could watch what you're doing. And eventually we all can have a conversation. And until next time, stay Raider strong.